If you're an indie author, I'm sure you've seen all sorts of ads online that'll advertise things like, for such and such amount of money, I can guarantee so many reviews of your new book, so many likes on your posts, follows on social media, etc. And I think most people just have a gut instinct that says, oh, that's a scam. I'm not going to click on that image. The people that are scamming independent authors that way are taking a reactive approach. They're putting something out there and just hoping that their victims, if you will, are dumb enough to click on it and contact them. And in a case like that, they might feel like, okay, well, that's that person's fault. They made the first contact towards me for my services in quotes, right? What I'm going to tell you about today are two examples of the opposite of that. Rather than being reactive about scamming, they were proactive about scamming. In these two examples, these people, well, one of them is definitely a person. I'm pretty sure one's a person. The other one is a bot. And behind that bot is a person. But the method that they both took were essentially the same, where they saw something I published online, gathered some insights from it, maybe the summary that was on the back of the book or a summary from the publisher. They combined that with some of the other posts that I've made online or things that I've put out there on the webs and stuff like that. And then found my email address and combined that with my email address. Gathered all that stuff together and then kind of created somewhat of a coherent pitch to me. They emailed me and they promised me such amount of things for such amount of money. And it's still a scam. I think most people that might get that email, I would hope that most people that get emails like that can see that it's a scam. But I'm sure a lot of people don't because it is much more convincing when their approach to you is tailored to something that you've already done, something you've already published. On the surface, it can seem a little bit more legit than just some random banner ad with colorful graphics and stuff like that. So I want to show you two examples. And these both came to me within the last few weeks. One of them came at me right at the end of November. The other one just came at me this morning, as a matter of fact. So, if you're watching this video, you might already know about this stuff. You're probably smart enough to sniff the scam. But maybe you're someone that's on the fence. Maybe you got a similar email like this and you didn't know if it was legit or not. So maybe I could help you out. I don't know. Let me show you the two that I'm talking about. All right, this first one I'm going to show you is the one that was very clearly a bot. I knew it was a bot from the very beginning because all the correspondence with this person thing was obviously so AI generated, but some people struggle to see through AI. So let me show you that one first. It's more blatant. First of all, there is a book club, a legit book club in Manchester, United Kingdom. Manchester, Carl Pilkington's hometown. Carl Pilkington is my favorite philosopher of all time. Samantha Perry is a real person, and she runs this book club called We Are Book and Cranny. I don't know what that means, We Are Book and Cranny, but when I got this, the first thing I did is I went online, I looked up We Are Book and Cranny. What is this? And they've got a Instagram account, and it's legit. They actually have human beings that meet at a certain location where they get food and snacks and stuff, and they all kind of discuss a book that they read. They take it home, they read it, and they come back. A regular book club, a normal book club, right? That's what book clubs are for. So We Are Book and Cranny is not a scam. I want to be very, very clear about this. I've had some interactions with Samantha after this, the real Samantha, and she's a genuine person. She even put a thing on her Instagram page to make sure people don't fall for this scam. So very clearly, she is not related to the bot. But what's interesting is that this bot not only gathered information about me, but it gathered information about Samantha and her book club. It uses an image of Samantha. That's an image that you could find online of her. It is a bizarre image. I don't think that's the image she would normally use. It may be one from the past, but it looks legit. There's like a little business card in the signature here. And it came from the We Are Book and Cranny book club at gmail.com. I don't know if that's their actual email address, but it looks like it's at least spoofing something that seems legit. So the email, this is the very first contact from this bot. Dear John Zaremba, I hope you are both doing well. Well, what do you mean both? John Zaremba is a single guy. It's a one person, one name. What is this both? You are both doing well. So that is the first alarm that went off in my head. My name is Samantha Perry, organizer of We Are Book and Cranny Book Club, a vibrant community of more than 2,500 active readers. I was going back and forth with this bot for a little while, and every time it would respond, it would keep hammering that 2,500. Like that was just like that's a good, if there is that many people in this book club, that's amazing. But when you look at their Instagram, there's, maybe 50 people in a room. So I don't know what that's all about. As we prepare for our upcoming featured author event on November 25th. So this email came through November 19th. So that's a second red flag. It's anytime someone scams you, they always scam you with a sense of urgency. They want to kind of make it seem like you got to decide right now. You got to act on this right now, or else you're going to lose out on this amazing offer, right? It's like used car salesman tactics almost. So they sent me an email on 19th. They got this thing on the 25th, which I think was Thanksgiving or something. I'm pretty sure that was Thanksgiving Day. So that's also another little red flag. Like, what do you, this is weird. Your dynamic contributions to Savage Realms Monthly, February 2025. So I had a story, Kathacon, published in the February 2025 issue of Savage Realms. It's a sword and sorcery story. And they knew that. They gathered that. But everything that they said after that is kind of very generic that could apply to any sort of sword and sorcery or even any sort of fantasy story. So immediately it stood out as gripping, richly imagined, and adventure-packed selections for our members, okay? We would love to feature your work because of the blend of dark fantasy, razor-sharp sword and sorcery action, and atmospheric storytelling in the issue delivers exactly the kind of immersive, high-stakes experience our community loves. When you look at this group on Facebook, I'm not making any judgments here, but I doubt that there's very many swords and sorcery fans in this group. They're just like normal people. There's regular, sword and sorcery is not popular. It's not the thing that this person in this image here certainly does not read Karl Edward Wagner. It's just not, it's not in her wheelhouse, so this is all weird. The vivid world building. First of all, I hate world building. I don't build worlds. This is the world. I'm perfectly content with the world. I write stuff that is almost anti-world building. I don't like to build worlds. I think that's childish. Dramatic tension. Okay, maybe. Compelling character journeys, somewhat. I'm not really a character writer. Stories provide endless opportunities for reader engagement, thematic exploration, and lively discussion. I would hope that would be the case. So lively, I would love for people to discuss the things I've written. I think there's a lot to discuss in this stuff. Featuring your work includes dedicated spotlight posts, strong visibility across all your platforms, enthusiastic interaction from fantasy-loving readers, and long-term discoverability as your stories become part of our featured library. Okay, whatever. We would be thrilled to welcome you both. Again, both. Who's the both? Is it me and Ricky? I don't know, can you see Ricky down there? There's Ricky. Maybe they're talking to me and Ricky. I don't know. Ricky has nothing to do with these stories. He probably is annoyed that I'm writing stuff and not playing with him. Anyways, she wants to welcome me and my dog as featured authors for November 25th. When you have a moment, please let me know if we can secure this date for you so we can begin promoting your feature and highlighting your gripping contributions to this unforgettable issue. Our community would truly be excited to celebrate your work. Very complimentary. I could see somebody falling for this because it is sort of tailored. She obviously didn't know anything about what I wrote. What I wrote. I'm a writer. I said what I wrote. What I've written. And Carl Pilkington is my favorite philosopher because he always had his head squoze. So I wrote. At any rate, so if I were to agree to pay her what she wants, I don't even want to say her because this is not Samantha Perry doing this. It is not her. This is what they would offer. So thank you so much for the warm, open response. I truly appreciate your willingness to support our upcoming feature. And I'm delighted to confirm that your story, Kathacon, will be a powerful addition for our 2,500 member community. First of all, I am not Savage Realms. Savage Realms is not me. I'm an author that was lucky enough to have a story put into their publication. I am in no position to say you can do what you want with Savage Realms February 2025. That's not me. She's talking to the wrong person. But this is what they would offer. In addition to our 2,500 member, again, hitting me with this 2,500 member community stuff, they'll provide a short author bio. Okay, well, I could do that. It's everywhere. Everybody knows my bio. A high-resolution photo. There's lots of pictures of me online. A brief summary of key themes of Kathacon. Okay, well, that might be something. I can maybe share some insight there, right? A short message you'd like to be shared with our readers. This coordination promotion fee. Oh, there's a fee. Okay, so what's the fee? I want to find out the fee in a minute. Dedicated spotlight across our active platforms. Well, this is not a platform. The Book and Cranny thing is a physical, it's like a meetup where people get together. So this is just all murky. Strong visibility to 2,500. Long-term placement in our feature authored library for continued discovery. I don't publish Savage Realms. I can't ship this person a bunch of books for a library. They must be talking about PDFs or something. Reader engagement through discussions, exposure to new fantasy readers who remain active supporters of authors we feature, continued strengthening platforms, yada, yada, yada. Please let me know the best time to send over the coordination and promotional fee details so we can officially secure your feature and begin preparing your materials. We're very excited to spotlight your work, Kathicon. We are very excited to spotlight your work. Kathicon will truly captivate. Again, it's a horribly written AI sentence. We finally get to a point where they start saying what it's going to cost. So thank you so much for your quick response. Happy to clarify the coordination and promotional fee is $125. The full preparation and visibility of your feature while helping sustain an ongoing growth of our 2,500 member community. Because your work powerfully blends dark fantasy atmosphere with sword sorcery intensity. Again, these are just buzzwords that it's picking up and putting into this AI message. The feature places Kathicon directly in front of readers who actively seek immersive worlds. Again, I'm immersed in this world. I don't need to be immersed in some other world. High stakes action, character-driven tension. It's not character-driven. Your spotlight includes multi-platform promotion, long-term placement. Again, it's regurgitating the same stuff that it said over and over in the previous things. Bottom line, this bot wants to collect $125 from me. But it didn't let up. This thing is still messaging me. Today is the 19th. This message came in yesterday at 11:51 p.m. Hello, John. How are you doing? So now it's almost like it's trying to like flirt with me or something. I don't even understand. I didn't respond to this one. Of course, I let Samantha, the real Samantha Perry, who runs the book club, know about this, and she's got a post on her Instagram to warn people. I also let Savage Realms know about it, so they're aware that this is going on because they're not at all, they probably wouldn't even know that there's something combing. They put out an issue every month for years and years. There's like dozens and dozens of these things out there. There could be, dozens and dozens of authors getting these sort of scams, and they might want to know about it. So I let Savage Realms know as well. Whole long explanation to tell you about this. This is obviously a bot, obviously fake. A lot of people would probably see through this. Some people won't, but now you know about it. Now, let me tell you about the second one I got, which I don't think is a bot. I think it's a real person. It's just a bit of a scumbag. Okay, the second one is from somebody named Viana Larke, L-A-R-K-E. The last name of Larke, I know that's an actual surname that people can have, but it's almost like a little bit of a giveaway. Like, I'm just doing this on a lark. It's just a little bit of mischief. It's just kind of fun, It's very cavalier. But anyways, Viana Larke apparently represents a group called Beyond the Spine. Beyond the Spine. So this is the email I got. I just got this one this morning, 6 hours ago. And this is kind of what prompted me to do this video. Because this one, I've been talking to this Viana Larke going back and forth, and I do believe it's an actual human. I wanted to take a moment to share how striking and conceptually bold XLZABK001 is. If you don't know anything about me as an author or as an artist, that's my first book. It's a collection of short stories. It's the Red Book. It's John Zaremba Book 1. That's the title, XLZABK001. I'm deliberately obtuse, okay? At any rate, the collection feels deliberately forged for readers who want more than an entertainment stories that challenge complacency, confront false virtue, and explore awakening through conflict, consequence, and rebirth. Now, that is not a terrible summary of my writing style and what that first collection is about. A lot of those words were on the back of the book. So I don't believe this Viana Larke person has ever read book 1. I don't think she knows anything about the stories personally, but I've done a couple interviews when I put the book out. There's a bunch of things I've said online about it, and I've used those kind of words, and that's not bad. So if this is a real person, which I think it is, it's a little bit more nefarious that they would be spending their own time to sort of gather this kind of intel on me, right? What stands out most is how the symbolic violence and mythic elements aren't used for spectacle alone, but as tools for examining will, individuality, and transformation. Again, that is not bad. Like, if this person was legit, I'd kind of want her on my side, to be honest with you. Like, if I had some sort of agent or whatever, like, that's not a bad pitch. That suits, especially book 1, that suits. Book 1 is extremely violent. Book 2 is not going to be as violent. From the raw intensity of Einhander, which is a title one of the stories, to the philosophical tension running through Vade and the universe's Ars, each piece feels unified by a clear, uncompromising vision. Again, that's very complimentary, and I would not even argue with that. The blend of sword and sorcery, horror, action, and philosophy creates a cohesive experience that rewards readers who enjoy interpreting meaning beneath the surface. Again, very, very accurate. Those are the types of subgenres that are part of this collection. I'm giving this person high marks for doing some work on this. One opportunity that could help Book One reach more of the right audience is connecting with Beyond the Spine, a reader community that actively seeks thought-provoking, boundary-pushing work, especially titles rooted in mythic symbolism, individualism, philosophical depth. Your collection aligns strongly with readers who value narrative as a catalyst for reflection rather than comfort. I think that is very well written. If she used an AI engine to write that, it's probably a pretty good engine to put that together, because that's not bad. Would you be open to exploring the opportunity to introduce Book One to readers who are actively looking for this kind of work? If so, just reply with, "I'm interested," and I'll be happy to share some more details. So that's that last sentence. At first I was reading something thinking maybe this is someone that could possibly be a fan of mine. As odd as that sounds, as that sentence coming out of my mouth is bizarre to even speak, but it could be a reality, right? But the last sentence, she gave herself away. With the "I'm interested" in caps and quotes, responding with that, whatever system she's using to gather keywords, that would be the key to unlock the door to that system. In other words, it's almost like if you get one of those text messages, reply with yes to confirm, or reply stop to stop. It's like that sort of thing, where it would get the "I'm interested" in all caps like that, and it would automatically go to the next step of the process of scamming me. So that's, she gave up. She lost right there. If that last sentence wasn't there, I might be a little bit more gullible about this one, to be honest with you. But I still saw through it. Don't worry. I still saw through it. So how did this turn out today? I'm not going to read you everything. You could see, I'm blurring out a lot of my inbox, but you could see I've been going back and forth with this person over and over again. So I'm trying to find out, so what do you actually do? With Beyond the Spine, the goal is to introduce Book One to readers who are already seeking thought-provoking. She's repeating herself now. Rather than broad promotion, we focus on placing your collection into curated, high-engagement communities, book clubs, and private groups on Facebook, Reddit, Discord, and other reader networks where members enjoy exploring symbolic storytelling, philosophical themes, and narrative depth. Okay, whatever. Once introduced, your book becomes conversation starter rather than just recommendations. Readers discuss themes, characters. Additionally, some clubs have authors for Q&A discussions, creating opportunities to engage directly with readers. Over time, this builds long-term reader loyalty and positions your collection as memorable, conversation-worthy experience. In essence, the process is about strategically connecting your book with the readers who will truly appreciate it. Okay, she kind of sounds like a bit of an agent or something. So when I looked at this one, I started just doing some research. What is this Beyond the Spine? Well, Beyond the Spine, there's a lot of chiropractors out there that have companies and organizations called Beyond the Spine. In terms of book clubs, there's almost nothing online with this person. So I'm not going to read you all the emails, but we go back and forth, and I told her, well, send me a website. I want to know what this is about. There is no website. Facebook groups. She sent me a name of a Facebook group, which doesn't exist on Facebook. So that was another red flag right there. I did a search on Facebook to see what is she actually talking about with these groups that have discussions going on. There are a handful of Beyond the Spine Facebook groups. So let's take a quick look at what I got in there. Okay, searching Facebook for groups called Beyond the Spine. Like I said, a bunch of chiropractic stuff comes up. In the top results, there's only 2 of them that seem like they're book clubs. One of them, they're going to be private, like she said, because you got to be invited. So I think that's also part of the scam. They don't want you to see that. Probably the 109 members in this thing are probably all bots anyways. But let's take a quick look at it and see what it's all about. Welcome to Beyond the Spine. This is a book club dedicated to uplifting and celebrating the voices of people of color. Here we explore a variety of genres, from thought-provoking fiction and powerful memoirs to inspiring self-help and page-turning thrillers. Our mission is to create safe, inclusive space where readers can come together to discuss stories, whether you're a lifelong bookworm. Okay, I'm obviously not a person of color, but this here just kind of like, it just reeks of taking advantage of people of color. There's a lot of people of color who are authors that are trying to make a name for themselves, and there's no easy way for me to say this except that the world, not just book-related stuff, in general, every government, every social policy has sort of trained people of color to think that they're on their side, that they're going to help them get a leg up in things. So those individuals could very likely think that this is just like any other sort of program out there that's trying to help them get a leg up. And that's even a little bit worse, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, try to take advantage of me. I'm not going to fall for it, but I'm a different target. This is like punching down is what this is. It's just wrong on a whole other level. So of course, and I know you want to make judgments, but I don't think anyone that identifies as a person of color, I'm not saying that people of color can't enjoy my writing. I'm sure there are people of color, I even hate saying that phrase, people of color, but I'm sure that people of color would enjoy my work as long as they don't identify as a person of color. I think anyone that identifies as any sort of group, regardless of if it's color or sexuality or anything, anyone that's a group-minded person is going to probably be offended by the things I write. Especially people of color. I mean, give me a break. So right off the bat, this person is an idiot. Is a dark sort of individual, not a person of color dark. She's dark spiritually. All right. So what's the other one in here? Is Beyond the Spine Book Club. Okay. This one's got more members, 391 members. This one looks a little bit more, well, it's got Christmas on it. So they're obviously, they know that Christmas exists. We are excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us. We decided to create a group to fulfill our dream of running our own bookish group. All these emojis in here are a red flag, by the way, too. A lot of people that are scammers, they love just throwing out emojis because it just they think that it makes Westerners feel like, oh, okay, well, we use emojis when we message our families, so maybe this person is just like us. No, you're not. We hope to share our love of books while nurturing a fun, safe space. I hate safe spaces, where we can cultivate new friendships by simply looking beyond the spines. If you're looking for a group full of book lovers who love to have fun, chat, make new friends, this is like a beta dating group or something. I don't know what this is all about. It's garbage. Nobody that would appreciate my work is going to be part of this sort of thing. Tons of book conversations, fun games, wish list Wednesday, Fairy Friday. I don't even want to know what Fairy Friday is. Interactive posts and more. Please be sure to read the rules. I don't like rules. We'll be posting the rules. I don't like rules within the group and putting them in the featured tab. Too many rules. Yours truly, Jossie, Whitney, Haley P, and Haley A. So these people, if they are actual people, are not Viana Lark, different people. So the only two groups I could find on Facebook seem to have nothing to do with this Viana Lark person. So who is Viana Lark, right? Viana Lark. Okay. Well, look at this. VLARK 2069, free guide for authors. Is there anything else in here? There's a LinkedIn, but that's for Victoria Lark. Victoria Lark. There's a Victoria Lark. Everything else says Victoria Lark. And I did more research. I'm just giving you guys a quick overview. I did more research this morning. So trust me, there's nothing. The bottom line is, right, there's nothing out there for this Viana Lark person, except for this Twitter profile or X. So let's go take a look at it. I don't use Twitter. I've never used Twitter and I don't have X, so I can't really see what's on here. But the first thing I notice is, let's go to her profile. She's following 18 people and only 2 people follow her. Huge red flag. If you're doing this sort of thing, and that's the same picture that was used, focus on solutions, not problems. That's a bunch of BS. I help authors connect with readers and book clubs so their stories thrive beyond the spine. She only put the quote after the spine rather than in front of the beyond. So how much of a literary person is she? Hasn't posted anything. There's nothing to really look at here. There's zero. I can't log in because I don't have an account, but you get what I'm saying. This is just like a shell profile as far as I'm concerned. This is probably just something that was created for people that Google her after she sends out a message trying to get some money. Okay. At one point I said, I'm assuming, because I knew it was a scam. So I said, I'm assuming you're collecting money from authors like myself. I understand what you have to gain from this process, but I don't understand how the readers in your groups will benefit. There are no boundaries between readers and authors today. It is easy to find a book that suits the individual preferences of a reader without a middleman like yourself. I see few I see a few private Facebook groups for Beyond the Spine, and they only have a couple hundred members. I can understand why bots would join these groups, but it doesn't seem to be an incentive for a normal, intelligent human. That's very true. I think I did very well explaining that. I completely understand your concerns about how readers, again, this is so scripted and awful. By placing your books in these groups, I'm helping each reader who already interested but wouldn't otherwise discover it. Each group provides focused audience, making it easier for readers to find and pick up your work. Essentially, I act as a bridge between your book and the readers. This way, your book gets more attention, readers get access to the content. Would you like me to explain the next steps to make this happen, or do you have any questions about the process? Best regards, Viana. So the responses from this person are a little bit less AI. That's why I think there's an actual human involved. They might be using some sort of AI assistance, but I think that they're tailoring their responses. We go back and forth a few more times. And then she says, happy to explain. The next steps are simple. I share the featured draft below for your review. Nothing goes live without your approval. Once approved, it is shared in a small number of Beyond the Spine private reader spaces aligned with philosophical, mythical driven fiction. Readers engage, organically discuss, reflect, quiet discovery, depending. It connects with readers, often carry the work into their adjacent circles on their own. That's the entire process with no participation from me. So she's telling me, I'll do all this for you. And I'm like an agent or something, right? Here's the feature draft. Book 1. Some collections aim to entertain, others are written to confront. Book 1 belongs to the latter, using myth, symbolic violence, transformation, yada, yada, yada. Cross stories like Einhunter, Vade, and Universe is Ours. Genre becomes a framework for questioning control, agency, and growth. Again, very well written and a very fair summary of Book 1. I like what she said. In fact, whatever thing she's using to write this might be something I should use myself to do a better job of promoting my things. This is a work that resists comfort and rewards interpretation. Okay, if this feels aligned, let me know when I can outline placement options. If not, I appreciate the thoughtful exchange regardless. Again, that's why I think this sounds like this sounds more human, right? Okay, so I respond, okay, now I understand. You are selling advertising. What are the placement options or costs? It finally came clear. There's a bunch of back and forth, but ultimately we get to the heart of what this person wants. She wants to advertise for me. She'll put ads in these Facebook groups that are probably just a few hundred bots in them. Here's what this person is trying to scam. This is where this gets diabolical, in my opinion. The simplest way to describe it is paid placement with curated Beyond the Spine reader spaces. Here's the placement options you can see. So she's even got little tiers of levels, like she's some sort of like the cable company or something where you could buy different packages. The basic package, $337. $337. Independent authors, the vast majority do not have $337 to spend on advertising. They just don't. And if they did, they wouldn't use it for something like this. Most independent authors, when they're really desperate and they're just trying to advertise, they'll do like a Facebook ad or an Amazon ad or something like that. Featured channel across 8 to 10 active Beyond the Spine reader groups. Well, I only found 2. I don't think there are 8 to 10. Typical outcome is 39 to 49 verified reviews with meaningful feedback. So again, I know this is a BS, but another red flag just came up. Like, I don't want to buy reviews. I know people buy reviews, and I know that buying reviews has been something that has helped a lot of independent authors. I think when they go to sleep at night, they probably cry into their pillow somewhat because they know that they don't have the integrity that a proper author would have. I am never going to buy reviews. I just don't do that. I object to that whole premise. And I think that the tables have been tilted in such a way that it favors people that do that. That just makes me want to resist that urge even greater. So that's BS. Okay. $421, she'll put me in 12 to 15 Beyond the Spine. Well, what is that? If you could put me into 10, why can't you put me into 15? Like, what is this? This is ridiculous. Typical outcome is 55. Okay. So now you're guaranteeing more reviews. And it lasts for 4 to 5 weeks. $506. $506. That's like, what people are paying for rent these days. Who's going to put $506 into something like this? Featured, shared across 18 top performing. So not even the normal Beyond the Spine groups. I only found 2 all together, but apparently there's so many that they've got ranking where the top performing groups, there's at least 15 of those, including influencer-led spaces. What is that? What are the YouTubers and stuff? I know a lot of these people that do book reviews and stuff online are paid. I know that. But again, I don't want to be any part of that. That is just the opposite. It couldn't be more opposite of my framework. Typical outcome is 93 verified reviews for 4 to 6 weeks. Then we get to the ultimate impact package. The verbiage here is just it's so corporate, very corporate. $600, $603. Even the numbers that they're throwing out there. Why is it $603? That $3, I used to work in sales. I know what that $3 is there. It's to make the buyer assume that we brought this price down as low as we possibly can. If we were to charge you $602 for this, we would officially lose money. We could only break even, and to break even, it's got to be exactly $603. I'm surprised she didn't say like $603.24 or something like that. Anytime you see someone that's doing a service like this, that takes them, if she were to uphold her end of the bargain, it would probably take her 15, 20 minutes to do what she's promising here. If they have an odd fee amount that's a weird number like that, it's a scam. But anyways, this will give me 25 elite beyond the spawn communities. Okay, so not even top performing, elite. Well, why not just use the elite? Get rid of the other ones that aren't elite. Why do you have groups created to do this sort of thing that are not performing well? What kind of boss are you? If she's some sort of, entrepreneur in this way, fire the people that aren't upholding their end of the fake reviews or whatever. I don't even get it. 125 verified reviews. This is just absolute scam. So I have not responded. Once she started telling me the pricing, I just left it there, and I figured I'm going to sit down and make this video to tell you about this. I'm going to play along with this Viana person a little bit, get into the part where I kind of get a little bit entertained when I could kind of insult them and stuff like that. I like to insult, and I like to insult bad people especially. So I'm going to play around with this person a little bit, but to me, this is just absolutely outlandish. If she does this to 100 authors a day or 100 authors a week, and only 2 of them fall for it, that's like that could be $1,000 in her pocket a week just from this BS. Okay, that's it. This video is longer than it needed to be in the first place. I just wanted to give you some real examples to kind of show you how this discourse happens and some of the tactics that people or bots are using. Again, if there's a bot, there's a person behind the bot. There's someone collecting the work that the bot has done. So even if you write some of this stuff off as, oh, it's just AI, it's just a bot, it's just an algorithm, there's no harm there. Well, there is harm there because someone is behind the bot manipulating it to rip people off. Okay, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I promise you I'm going to end this video. Of all the artists out there, and I do consider literature to be a form of art. I think when done well, it is a form of art. I think writers are perhaps the most vulnerable for these types of scams. It's not that as people, they're more vulnerable. It's just that the craft that they take part in. Let me try to explain it this way. If you're a musician, I used to be a musician, I'm retired. I would record a song, put it online, and I could get people to click on it. Like, no matter who it is, even if it's a complete stranger, it takes very little energy for someone to click on a song and listen to it. Even if they're not paying full attention to it, they could listen to it while they do other things. If you're a painter and you make this beautiful painting, it's even easier. You put it online and people don't even need to click on it because they'll see it as they're scrolling. And if they find that interesting, then they could click on it to maybe look at it in a larger format or inquire more about the artist. As a writer, it is almost impossible. And I know because I'm trying to get people to pay attention to this next book that I got coming out. It is almost impossible to get someone to read something because it takes, not only do they have to sit down and look at it, but it takes your entire attention. Like sometimes you could listen to music and read, but you can't do anything else. You can't interact with your friends or your family or take your dog for a walk or be driving down the road when you're reading a book. You got to be 100% focused on it. And then on top of that, if it's a book that's got some depth, then you got to kind of think about what you're reading. It's a very active engagement sort of art form. So writers, if you're a writer and you're probably watching this because you are a writer, you know that it's impossible. It seems like it just seems like it's impossible to get a complete stranger to read something you've written. So these can be very tempting because they're making promises that they can't keep, but they're promising that they are going to get eyeballs on the thing that here's another thing. If you were to be paid by the hour as an author, even if you're like the most well-renowned author of all time, or even someone that just is able to, even if someone that brings in, let's just say in this ideal world, someone brings in $1,000 a month from something they published, like that's a tiniest percentage of actual authors can do that. But even if you could do that, if you break down how much you're getting paid per hour to produce whatever you produced that got you that $1,000 per month, you'd be getting paid like 50 cents an hour at best. It's peasant work. Being an author is being a peasant. It's worse than being a peasant, because at least being a peasant, you have something to show for it. You got a pile of grain behind you or something, you know. You can at least see the castle up there and say, at least I did it for that guy. At least he got something out of it. As an author, it is just like a sacrificial act that has very, very little reward. So these scammers can be very, very tempting. Especially like this is holiday season, people have even less money. But let's just say these things are coming around tax season in America. In America, if you're in the United States, most people get some kind of tax refund in the springtime. Hey, I got my tax money. What the heck? It's only $500. I'll put it there. It's like rolling the dice. They could really, really screw people over. So again, this video is too long. I'm rambling. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. If you have any comments, leave a comment, send me a message, whatever. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.